Yeah, Manoj, started the recording, so we can start.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Anna, over here for the confirmation. And before starting the session, guys, a few introductions over there. Hello, everybody. My name is Manoj, and I am going to be your mentor. I'm not going to be a trainer. I'm going to be a mentor in this Ariba training sessions. The first thing, I'm having a total experience of 16 years. I've been working for, SAP Ariba for the last 8.5 years, and the total experience of mine, the 16 years, I have worked in procurement side only. That means started my career in MM and SRM, and for the last 8.5 years, I've been working in Ariba and as well as Fieldglass over there. Fieldglass not 8.5 years, Fieldglass like somewhere around 4.5 years. I've been working along with Ariba. So I've done 6 projects in Ariba implementation over there, involving both the upstream, downstream, and as usual integration over there. Now, excuse me, this particular session which we have basically designed over here, this session is running from 2017 onwards, almost like 3.5 years. For the last 3.5 years, we have been doing this particular session. Our motto is not to basically train you. Why? Because this is a knowledge sharing sessions which we provide in our sessions over there. It's a knowledge sharing over there. So basically, what is our goal? Our goal is once you complete this training over there, what will happen is like you can go to the project and you can start the work over there. This is not theoretical things at all. So please don't expect that we will basically go ahead with the normal convention of doing this theoretical Ariba over there. No, there's no theoretical Ariba. Here, we are talking about all the practical things which you are going to face in your project, how you are going to work over there, what are the issues which you will see in the project, and how will you resolve these things, how will you basically design the solution over there. So that is our goal. So the first and foremost thing, as you can see right now in the screen, is a blank notepad. You will never see like that. Why? Because if you go to any training over there, what will happen is like a PPT will open up first. With the PPT, everybody will basically teach you over there. Why? They cannot keep everything in their mind because it's theoretical over there. But for our sessions, nothing is theoretical. Everything is practical. Why? Because from our experience, we will teach you. Okay. So that is why we cannot have a haphazard session. Haphazard session means what? What is the meaning of haphazard session? Now, haphazard session over there is in between questions. So if you guys are having any queries or question in between, what I will suggest is keep this particular queries on your hand over there. Yes, we will take your queries, but not right now. First, we will show you the content. Once we will show you the content over there, what will happen? After that, we will have a question answer session. That's it. Okay. So like this, we are going to proceed ahead over there. If you're having any queries, please open up a notepad, type in your queries, keep it with yourself. When we will have the question answer session, then we will basically go ahead and do this thing. Okay. Now, without wasting time, let's start. Okay. So let us discuss about this particular process. What is SAP Ariba? So when you are basically understanding what is SAP Ariba, you need to understand what is the meaning of it. Where like the usage of Ariba is, what does Ariba means over there. So you will see a lot of people will say a lot of things about Ariba, but what is the exact meaning of Ariba over there? So the exact meaning of Ariba is it's a software where the focus is on procurement and based on cloud services. Now, I do understand most of you will say what is cloud services, but most of you are also knowing what is the meaning of cloud services over there, where the cloud services is coming and how those cloud services are basically going to come over here. So cloud services means what? The customer or the client who is implementing Ariba, they don't need application server. The application server will be installed by, maintained by the service provider. In this case, it's SAP Ariba. Now, what is SAP Ariba? As I said, it's software whose focus is on procurement. Plain and simple. Okay. Now, what are the solutions of Ariba? Where Ariba comes into the picture? So, Ariba have two solutions, upstream and downstream. Now, here also, what will happen if you ask what is the meaning of upstream, what is the meaning of downstream? Majority of the uh, consultant, Ariba consultant will say upstream is where we will do strategic procurement over there. Downstream is where we will do operational procurement. Are very good. Those are fancy words, guys. But how are you going to really define it, what you're doing inside? The first and foremost thing, when you will go to the project, your client will basically ask, okay, what we are doing in upstream. Okay, we are implementing upstream, very good. What we are doing in upstream? What is happening in upstream? What is happening in downstream? Strategic procurement? I don't know what is strategic procurement. You have to basically define me. No definition. So the first phase where the client is asking some question and there only the consultant is faltering. What is the meaning of it? So if you want to know what is the meaning of upstream and downstream, we have to understand the meaning of procurement. And procurement always will be divided into two scenarios. What are the two scenarios? New products and old products. What is the meaning of new product and old products over there? So new product means you have never bought that product before. You are procuring that product for the first time. Okay. So procuring the product for the first time. What will happen next? Source of supply will not be known, right? What is source of supply? Source of supply means the supply from where we are going to buy, what is the price, and these two things only majorly. Yeah, apart from that, there are other things also, but source of supply means from which supply we are going to buy, at what price we are going to buy. So source of supply is unknown. Old products, on the other hand, means what? We have already procured the products, already procured it. So that means what? Source of supply is known. Okay, very good. This is the meaning of new products and old products over there. Okay, nothing else. Now, what is the meaning behind it? This new products and old products over there. So the meaning over there for this new products and old products is, actual meaning is, new products means non-catalog item, and old products actually means catalog item. Okay, so there is no terminology like what you can say, new product and old product in Ariba. Ariba understand the terminology non-catalog item and catalog item over there. Okay, now what does non-catalog item and catalog item has to do with upstream and downstream over there? So in upstream, basically what we will do, we will try to find out the source of supply. So majorly, to find the find and finalize the best source of supply. Okay, so please keep this thing in your mind over there. This is basically the meaning of upstream. Downstream is what? Majorly, we will work with catalog items. Take the deliveries and pay for it. So this is actually the meaning of upstream plus downstream. In upstream, what we are doing, we are working with non-catalog item. Since non-catalog item has never been procured before, what will happen? We will try to find the base source of supply and finalize the base source of supply. Correct? Downstream means what? Downstream basically means we are going to work with catalog item. Catalog item means what? Source of supply is already present. So what we can do? We can order the product. So without the source of supply, you cannot order the product. Now you can order the products over there, take the delivery of the products and then pay for it. So in actual, lot of Ariba consultant think Ariba has designed this upstream and downstream to work in a very different way. Wrong. Ariba has designed this particular thing to work in sync. The process will always start with upstream. Why? Because whenever you are having a non-catalog item, what will happen? The company which is implementing Ariba, it will try to find out the source of supply and finalize the source of supply. Once that is done, what will happen? It will cease to become a non-catalog item. It will become a catalog item once you find a source of supply for that non-catalog item. So that means upstream and downstream are in sync. Upstream should be implemented first, then downstream. Majority of the Ariba consultant, when they will go to a project, they will not understand this. They will think upstream is totally different, downstream is totally different. But Ariba has designed this thing in a very simple way. Okay, so please keep this thing in your mind over there. Okay, very good. Now, what are the sub-modules within upstream? Sourcing project. Or you can say sourcing process. What is sourcing process? Find the best source of supply. So in here, in the sourcing process, what we will do, we'll basically try to find out the source of supply. And how we can find a source of supply? By doing either this or this over here. RFI stands for request for info. RFP stands for request for proposal. And to some extent auction. So here, what we will do, we will basically take the non-catalog item. And after finding this non-catalog item, what we will do, basically, we will do what? We will basically find out the request for info over there. And then the request for proposal. So request for info is when we are basically asking for the technical quotation from the supplier. That's it. And request for proposal means we are basically going to ask what? For the price quotation from the supplier over there. So depending upon your choice, you can basically either find out the RFI or the RFP depending on your process, and you can have the base source of supply. Okay, now if somebody comes to you and ask, or basically client will come to you and they will ask over there that Manoj, what is the meaning of request for info and request for proposal over there? What is the meaning of it? Where it is coming? How it is coming? That you have to basically understand. So that particular thing, how we will understand. How or where we will basically understand this thing. So basically, this is where majority of the Ariba consultant will basically say to me, request for info, Manoj, if this process is totally new. If this process is totally new, what will happen? If this process is totally new, so what will happen over here is request for info over there means if this process is totally new, then what we will do, we will basically do the technical quotation. That is basically called as RFI. Okay, and RFP means what? If we know about that particular product, what will happen? We will basically do the request for proposal. That means what? Lot of Ariba consultants generally come to our session and they will say, RFI, Manoj, we will do when it is a non-catalog item. Very good. RFP we will do when it's a catalog item. How, boss? RFI and RFP are both part of your sourcing process. Sourcing process is part of your upstream. And since it's part of your upstream over there, what will happen is we will basically know a certain things. And what is that certain things? That is, non-catalog item will be only be worked over there, not catalog item. So you have to keep this thing in your mind over there. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind. So actually it is wrong. For both RFI and RFP, we are going to work with non-catalog item. Now then you are thinking, acha, Manoj, when we are working with non-catalog item for both RFI and RFP, then how I am going to differentiate? This is a very good point. So that is what we are going to understand where in our first session, sourcing process. So there we are going to understand this thing. So you have to keep this thing in your mind over there. Okay, exactly. Now you are having the best source of supply with yourself for sourcing process. After doing the sourcing process, what next? Contract. What is the meaning of contract? Contract is basically a legal agreement between buyer and supplier. Okay, Manoj. So contract is basically a legal agreement between buyer and supplier. What's the issue over there? It's very simple. So when we will come to the contract, we will do what? Contract, authoring, and task completion. These are the two activities we will do in the contract management. It's not a major thing. Wrong. This is the thing which all of you as a normal Ariba consultant have to understand. What's the difference between DFS and ECA? So all of you will basically say, Manoj, what is DFS? DFS stands for desktop file syncing. What is ECA? ECA is going to stand for enhanced contract authoring. So what's the date today? Today is 28th June, right? Monday, 28th June over there. Okay, so almost you can say, excuse me, the June has been, June is completed. June 2021 is almost completed right now, you can say, in today's session. Yeah. Only 2930 is remaining over there. So what impact of DFS ECA is there right now in the project, Manoj? Let's talk about June 2021 only. June 2021 is ending, so July will be starting after 2 days. What does it mean? So in this case, all of you should be very, very clear about one part. And what is that? That is, in 2017, before 2017, DFS was always used by Ariba over there. But after 2017, what was happening? ECA was being implemented by Ariba with the contract management. Now, what is there with this DFS versus ECA? Now, DFS template uses, DFS contract generally uses what? Generally, it uses the, what you can say, the ActiveX technology. And if you look at ECA uses Java technology over there. So that means, Manoj, both this technology are totally different from each other. Exactly. So that means if I go into the project right now, what I'm going to see, then I will say all of you guys are going to see the ECA part. From 2017 onwards, ECA contract is being implemented. Now, why I'm mentioning this thing? Because majority of the trainer, as I said, they will basically show you the DFS contract, text of file syncing contract. Why? Because the subscription which they will be having, it will be having DFS based things only over there. So this kind of issue will happen over there. So since this kind of issue will happen, what are you going to do? So you cannot learn DFS contract. You have to learn ECA contract over there. So in our session, everything about the contract will be from the ECA perspective. So that when you go to a project over there, you are not shocked. Hey, Manoj, why I'm seeing everything different in contract? Then I will say you will not see anything different in contract. Why? Because in project also ECA contract will be used, and in our session also we will basically use ECA contract over there. Okay, very good. Now, before going anywhere, all of you will basically say to me, Manoj, what about the supplier onboarding? What is there in the supplier onboarding? So supplier onboarding is when we are basically onboarding suppliers in Ariba. How we are going to do it? So here, lot of basically Ariba consultant will basically they will basically understand over there that supplier onboarding in Ariba is not a big deal. So where you will get the supplier first? You will basically get this supplier where? You will get this supplier from ERP. From ERP only you will bring. Now, how many suppliers you are going to bring at one time? Now, yes, Manoj, that's a very good point over there, which you have to remember. One by one? No, you will get old. You will be working with 5,000 suppliers, 6,000 suppliers, 7,000 suppliers, 9,000 suppliers. So you have to work with bulk supplier over there. Lot of Ariba functional consultant, they will come up and they will say, Manoj, basically I have been taught the end user process where I am working on one supply at a time. Then I will say, what you will do with that particular process? You're not going to work. So 8,000, 9,000 supply is there. So are you going to do this process 9,000 times? It does not make any sense. Totally zero. So in our session, basically, we will see the bulk loading of supplier. How to work with 8,000, 9,000 suppliers over there using the CSV file. Okay. So how it is done? So generally, CSV file stands for comma separated value file. So there we have to capture all these details of the supplier. Now, it is not that easy also. Majority of you guys basically will be thinking, acha, it's a one-step process. Wrong. Why? You look at Ariba's architecture. Ariba's architecture is having Ariba buyer in one hand and Ariba network in another hand. Exactly. So then only it will work properly. Otherwise, it will not work properly. So keep this thing in your mind. Ariba buyer and Ariba network. Now, what all of you will say, Manoj, what is the meaning of Ariba buyer and Ariba network? कहाँ पे ये आता है? So then I will basically say Ariba buyer is the specific URL which will be used by the buyer. Who is the buyer? Buyer are functional consultant, the admins, and the end user over there. And the end user over there who is working from the client side, as well as the functional consultant. Okay, very good. What about the Ariba network? Ariba network is a separate URL. It will be used by whom? By the supplier. Okay, so please keep this thing in your mind over there. Okay, very clear. Now, that is why you will see there are multiple process. Supplier request, supplier, or you can say not supplier, just request, registration, and qualification. So what do you mean by request, registration, and qualification over there? So request is when we are capturing some basic data about the supplier, okay? But still we cannot use the supplier. Why? Because the supplier has not created their credentials in Ariba network. So what will happen in the registration? In the registration, supplier will basically, we will invite the supplier to create their credentials in Ariba network. And through that, what will happen? Through that particular thing, they will basically what? They will basically create their credentials in Ariba network. Registration is completed. Now, what is the meaning of qualification? So a lot of Ariba consultant will come and say qualification is when we are qualifying a particular supplier against a commodity code and region. I will say it's wrong. It's actually wrong. So what do you mean by that? So qualification, once you do it over there for the supplier, what it will do, it will bring the supplier data from upstream to downstream. Huh? Manoj, upstream to downstream? Exactly, upstream to downstream. Upstream and downstream in SAP Ariba has a separate database. Now, those of you guys who are coming from MM or SRM background, all of you know that in MM, when you're working, you're having only one database. One database. So this kind of issue will not come over there. But in Ariba, upstream is having one database, downstream is having a separate database. So when you're creating the supplier, Manoj, do we have to create a supplier in both upstream and downstream? Of course. Why? For example, PO, where it will be created? PO will be created in downstream. Now, if you say in downstream PO will be getting created over there, what would be the issue? The answer would be what? The answer would be, Arey, Manoj, the same supplier would be required in the PO over there, right? So if it exists in upstream, if it does not exist in downstream, what will happen? I cannot create a PO against that particular supplier. That is unacceptable. Exactly. So this will lead to issue. Exactly. So what we will do? We will make sure that the supply is also present in downstream. How? By doing the qualification. Now all of you are very, very happy. Acha, Manoj, we will do it. But then I will ask, this contract, it has been signed in upstream. Now where this contract will be used, where the contract is consumed, actually over here, a lot of people will basically come up to me and say, Manoj, contract is basically consumed in where? In PO, right? Correct. So where the PO will be created in downstream, so it's a separate database. Contract is present in upstream. So how we will move the contract from upstream to downstream, Manoj? What is present is a part of contract compliance. So contract compliance basically is a bridge between upstream and downstream, through which the contract will move. Okay, plain and simple. Now coming to downstream. What is downstream? The meaning of downstream over here is simple. PR, P2P process. Actually P2P process. PR, then what? PR approval, then PO. After PO what? ASN, then what? GR, then what? Invoice, then what? Invoice reconciliation IR, then what? Payment. Very simple. Okay. Now, if you say it is simple, through this contract is moved from upstream to downstream, where it will be used up? So here also the same process will happen. A next scenario where it is happening from the contract. Now, please don't think that in downstream the contract will come as a contract. No, this will come as a contract catalog item. Now, can any of you guys take a guess? Can any of you guys take a guess what you mean by contract catalog items over there? So there, as a functional consultant, you should basically think what is the meaning of contract catalog item. So this non-catalog item, through the sourcing project, we were able to find the source of supply. Then we basically finalized in the contract. Then from the upstream, we have moved the data to downstream. And once we have moved the data, what has happened over there? Basically, the Non-catalog item. Once this contract comes into downstream, it will no more be a non-catalog item. It will be a catalog item. Okay, very good, Manoj. But within that also there is a differentiation. It cannot be just be called as a catalog item. It will be called as a contract catalog item. That means, Manoj, non-contract catalog item is also present over here, and I will say exactly correct. Okay, so these are the two different scenarios. Exactly correct, guys. So it looks like same, but is it same really? No, it's not same. Why it is not same? Because of a simple thing, that is the process is different actually. P2P means non-contract catalog item, that is basically called as procure to pay. H2P on the other hand basically means source to pay. Source to pay, this actually process is downstream only process. But this one, upstream plus downstream, both will be used up over here. So you have to keep this thing in your mind over there. Okay, so please keep this thing in your mind. So P2P and H2P over there is contract catalog items, and P2P is non-contract catalog item, and H2P is only present when both the upstream and downstream is present in your client. Very, very important for all of you guys. Now, okay, these are the process, Manoj. What configuration we are going to see? We are going to see the template configuration. Acha, what we will do in the template config? So in the template config, what we will do is like, guys, basically we will do the task configuration, we'll do the activity configuration, we will do the business rule configuration, and apart from the business rule, what next? Approval configuration also within the template. Similarly, if you look at downstream, here we will basically look at catalogs loading. Acha, Manoj, catalogs loading which part? Non-contract catalog item. This cannot be loaded. This is coming through the contract compliance. So non-contract catalog item will be loaded over here as a part of catalog loading plus catalogs config. Okay, what next? Basically the next thing basically which you have to look after this thing is very, very simple. And what is that thing? That is approval config. Okay, once you have done the approval configs, this will basically happen properly. Now what next? Next is also another thing which most of you guys are not expecting: reporting. What is reporting? So Manoj, reporting is where both upstream and downstream will come into the picture, and I will say exactly correct. So you have to remember, in Ariba we have standard reports. Okay, Manoj, so we have having standard reports, very good, but the client will basically ask for their own output, own filtering of data. So how we will do it? So you have to customize plus config those changes. So we are going to see how those reporting, customization, and configuration is done. That's the first thing. Second thing, how we will run the report in the production. If we run the report in the foreground, that will take 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours. It's not possible for us to know it. So what we will do? Background. How to work in a background, basically background job, that also we will see. And the last thing is automation. Lot of your users who are going to use reporting, they will be your higher management from the client side. They will be using the reporting. They will say, I want automation. I want to know about automation over there. I want to understand about automation, where the automation is coming, why the automation is coming, all those things I want to know. So they will basically say, I will not log in into Ariba buyer system. Without logging into Ariba buyer system, I want the report output to be delivered in a exact format within my email inbox. Can we do it? Of course we can do it. I will show you that option, how to automate it. That means the report will run in a background, let's say every Friday. And after running, what will happen? The report output in an Excel attachment will be sent through automated email to all the end user who wants that report output. That also we can do it. So that also we will see it. And after this thing, what next? The next important part is integration. Now, when I basically talk about integration, all of you will basically start over there and say to me, Manoj, I want to know about the configurations. I want to know about the CXML things. I want to know about the web services thing. Now, excuse me, how many of you guys know about CXML coding? How many of you guys know what is a SOA manager? SOA manager? Chances are high that all of you will say, Manoj, what is this? Why? Because CXML coding will be done by the CXML developer. SOA manager, root certificate, okay, these things, enterprise services, these things will be known by the basis consultant. They will configure this thing. Acha, so that means, Manoj, nothing is in our job. Wrong. As an integration consultant, the first and foremost thing which all of you guys are going to do is this. Integration scenario building. Now, what do you mean by integration scenario building? Integration scenario building is this process is there. Now, payment, where it will be done? In Ariba or in ERP? You have to determine that. Why it will be done in Ariba? If you say payment will be done in Ariba, why it will be done in Ariba? Excuse me. Why not in ERP? Or if I do this payment in ERP, then why not in Ariba? Why in ERP only? So these things we have to be very, very clear. If we are not clear, this kind of issue will happen over there, guys. Okay, so please keep this thing in your mind over there. Okay, exactly. So keep this thing in your mind. Now, what will happen? So we will understand this integration scenario building first. Once we understand this integration scenario building, what next? Mass data load. So Manoj, what is this mass data load? So this mass data loads are nothing but what you can say over here, guys, the loading of master data in Ariba manually through the CSV file. Acha Manoj, we have heard that there is an automated master data integration. Yes, there is. So why we will do this thing manually if everything can be done automated? I will say very good question. Very, very good question. But you need to understand certain things. And what is that certain things? There's certain things which you need to understand over here is very, very simple. And that simple thing is what? That here, mass data load means over here, only those master data which are present in Ariba but not present in ERP. So anyway, when you say master data integration should work perfectly over there, so it means what? The master data must exist in ERP as well as in Ariba. But here in the master data load, master data does not exist in ERP. It exists in Ariba. Okay, Manoj, what is the example? Unit specific commodity code, purchasing unit. These are only present in Ariba. These are not present in ERP. Yes, there are the master data like that. So what you have to do, you have to load this data manually into the system. So how you have to do it? With the help of mass data load. That also we will see. So please don't assume, acha, if you are working in an integration system, integrated system, Ariba system, mass data load did not be done. It has to be done. And the last is config. Now here, we have to basically help out the basis consultant. Yes, certain things we will configured by us, like what are the basic message settings, then basically other functional configuration, we will do it. But other basis consultant configuration and technical configurations over there, those things will not be done by us. That will be done by the basis technical guys over there. So we have to help them. Why? Because they know about those things. Enterprise, what is enterprise services, what is SOA manager, they know, but they don't have any knowledge about Ariba. That's the most important thing which all of you guys should keep it in your mind over there. Okay, so please keep this thing in your mind, nothing else. Okay, very good. Now, once you have done this particular thing, what next? So this is basically what we are going to do in our session in short, a very short attempt over there. That is what we have basically tried to understand. Remember, today's session is free, so it does not mean that there is no content over here. Yes, this particular thing which all of you guys have understood, it will be required in our first session. So if you come to our session in the first session without watching this demo session, what will happen is like you will be much more confused. Why? Because this basic knowledge is expected from all of you guys. So that is why this is what we have to show in our content, guys. Okay. Now what we will do, we will take a small break. After the break, basically we will take the question answers from all of you guys. But before that, we will also show what are the different documents which we basically share. We will share with all of you guys over there. That also we will see. Then we will take the question answer session. Yeah. Thank you guys. So let's do one thing. Let's take a break over here, guys. Okay. And please don't log off from the GoToTraining app. Why? Because you have to see that what are the different other things. Other things means like other documents and other information which we will share with all of you guys over here as a part of what? As a part of your work over there. So if we have this particular thing in our mind, okay, we are going to do this thing. Yeah, it's a 10 minutes break, guys. Not 10, you can say like 7 to 8 minutes break over there. It will be okay. Okay, so let's take that break. Okay, after the break, I will show you what are the content we are going to share with all of you guys. Then we will have a question answer session. Yeah, thank you. Let's take a break over here, guys. Hello, Dipali, am I audible to you?
Yes, Manoj.
Yeah, thanks, Dipali. So let me make you the presenter. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thanks, Dipali. I'm able to basically see your access over here. So the first and foremost thing, just can you just close this window on the right? No, 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 not over there. Come down a little bit on the right side, a little bit. This one. Very good. Now, guys, this is basically all the information which we will be sharing with all of you guys over there. So this is a G Drive access. So all of you guys who will register with our sessions, you will basically see this. You will get this G Drive over there access for all of you guys who will register with us over there. That's the first thing. Second thing is we will basically be giving different document with all of you guys. The first one is the session recording. So in the session recording folder, you will basically see all the sessions, starting with the demo till the last session recordings will be available to all of you guys for your access purpose over there. So that means you can see this recording multiple times. You will basically get this session recordings. So the second thing is basically the Ariba access. So basically all of you will get the Ariba buyer and Ariba network access so that you can work over there properly. Okay. So you will get that particular access over there, and here we will basically provide you the details. And the third one is the notepad over there. Notepad, basically, as you have seen in today's session, I have used a notepad. In the same way, we are going to basically use notepads in every session. So notepads will also be uploaded over here. Remember, those are custom notepads prepared by us so that it will help you in understanding this particular sessions over there. The fourth part is basically the documents. So Dipali, can you just open up the documents folder? Yeah, the fourth one. Can you go to the upstream? So here you will basically see a lot of PDF document which is basically coming up over there. So like this, you can see different documents which will be uploaded over here by us over there. So these are additional documents for your reference over there. So just like upstream, you will also have downstream. So Dipali, can you go back to the documents folder only on the fourth one? You can click on downstream also. There you will also see the downstream related documents, and then you will see the integration related documents also over there. So it's not an issue over there. Okay. Yeah. So go, Deepali, can you please go back to the main folder? Huh. The fifth is basically the certification material. Now, those of you guys who are basically thinking about clearing the certification over there, for them, can you just open up the certification material over there, Deepali? So for them, here we have basically provided all the documents which are required for your studying of the certification. That's the first thing. Second thing is, like, apart from that also, we have also provided the dumps. So those dumps are actually the question which has actually came in the Ariba certification examination, which you can basically practice. Why? Because we know the questions which has already came into Ariba certification, that will be what? Recycled for your use over there multiple times. Yeah, in Ariba certification, the questions which has appeared over there, those are recycled. Recycled means like 50, 45 to 50% of the time those questions will be recycled. So if you practice over there, there is a very high chance that you can clear the certification in one attempt. Okay, exactly. Now, Dipali, can you please go back to the main folder? Next is the learning hub video. So those of you guys who are basically coming from a end user background, some of you will be coming from the end user background. So you will basically say, Manoj, I want to understand the end user process. So the end user process, if you want to understand, that we will not teach in our session. Why? Because as I said, end user sessions are of no help. Why? Because at the end of the day, when you have to go to the project, so there you have to deliver on the project. So that is our goal over there. So if you want to understand a little bit on the end user part, we have basically uploaded all these video recordings of the end user part over there, which we have basically done. So here you can basically understand the end user process over there. Okay. And Dipali, can you go back to the main folder? The last one is basically the sample CVs over here. So there are a lot of confusion among the Ariba consultant how they have to prepare the CV, what they have to write in the CV. So we have basically taken a template of the best CV from few of our participants who have taken the session from us. Actually, we have basically 2,000 plus participants over there. Yeah. So from this 2,000 plus participant, what we have basically done, we have basically selected the best CVs over there and uploaded over there. Yeah, trust us, guys. That particular thing, like selecting this thing, is not easy. It was quite tough over there. Okay, so that is why we have selected this best CVs over there and uploaded for all of you guys reference over there, which you can use for preparing your own CV. Okay, so these are all the informations as well as the documents which we will share with all of you guys in a G Drive. And remember, this access to G Drive will be there for your whole lifetime. It's not like only for 2 months or 3 months or 6 months. This will be for the whole lifetime. Yeah, yeah, this document will be up to date. Now some of you guys will say, Manoj, it is showing 31st Jan to the 2020. This is just for your reference. Excuse me. Dipali, can you show this particular thing for our recent batch over there? Yeah.
Actually, I
So one
don't
of you.
have that access. The management team sharing the documents with the
Okay, okay,
candidates.
okay. So actually, this is basically a very old access over there. Actually, what happens is, like, guys, our sessions are very what structured over there. So everybody will not have access to every documents over there. Only the admin team will have access to these documents. Why? Because these documents will be prepared by me and then it will be shared to them over there. So yes, this will be up-to-date document over there. That's the first thing. And second thing, this is just for your representation. We wanted to show to all of you guys that these are the things which we will share with all of you guys. So currently the different batches which for which they are going out over there also we will basically have the updated document. So please don't think, acha Manoj, this is for 31st Jan to 2020, almost like 1.5 year ago. No, this is just for your representation purposes. Okay, so keep this thing in your mind. Yeah, you will get updated information, don't worry, because we will be updating everything over there. Yeah, now just a moment. If you are having any queries, guys, please raise your hand. We will be taking your queries right now. Yeah, Ashwini, can you please go ahead with your query? You need to unmute yourself, Ashwini.
Hello.
Yeah, Ashwini.
Hi, all. Hi, Manoj. Manoj, I worked as an end user in Ariba support project for around 6 months, but generally I didn't get the overview of like how Ariba is working and all. Like, I am interested in this, workshop where I will be able to get the entire perspective from Ariba this thing, and I should be able to know how things are going, and I want the certification to be done. So everything I want to learn from scratch. As you are explaining, it is good, but my intention is I need to understand from scratch. This will be provided, right?
Okay, so first and foremost thing, Ashwini, remember our sessions are designed in such a way that we will basically begin with scratch only. Why? Because we will be, this training is almost like 39 to 40 hours, guys. This training,
Okay.
officially
Okay.
it is a 39 to 40 hours over there, but we know, like, we will have a 2 hours or 2.5 hour session, but it will never end at 2 hours or 2.5 hours. Why? Because I know all of you will have questions, you will want to understand those particular things. So actually the total hours will be more than 40 hours at the end of the whole batch over there, but officially it is 40 hours.
Okay.
That's the first thing. The
Once
second thing
we
over there,
One second.
Let me just
Once once the training is complete, like we can directly approach, like we have an experience in Ariba, right? Like
exactly. So
can
we will
take
come to
this.
that, Ashwini. Yeah, we will come
Okay.
to that. But first of all, let me just clarify a little bit on this part, Ashwini. So first and
Yeah.
foremost, thing, we are having a lot of participants with varied experience. Some are very new, some are having basic knowledge, some are having good knowledge over there.
Okay.
Okay. Excuse me. So once this particular thing happens over there, so we will basically start with the scratch only so that all of you guys can understand. And then what will happen is like धीरे धीरे means like in a step by step wise, what we will do, we will increase the complexity a little bit. So please don't think like, hey, I'm coming from a end user background, so what will happen is like, can I understand from scratch? Yes, we are going to start from scratch, then we are going to increase the complexity in such a way that all of you guys can understand it. Why? Because we have been doing the same thing for the last 3.5 years over there.
Okay. Okay. Okay, Manoj. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Ashwini. Just a moment. Yeah, Chandra, can you please go ahead with your query? Ariba Access is basically for 2 months over there, guys. It will be for the Ariba buyer and Ariba network. Yes, you can do the functional configuration, the testing of process, but you will not get a super admin access. Super admin access means like you won't be able to create a user, you won't be able to delete a user, you can't change the role. But all the functional configuration, you can do it.
Yeah, hi. Manoj, actually,
Chandra.
I'm working in the SAP module. Okay, so
Yeah.
so my concern is like the way you have explained is very nice. Thanks for that. But again,
Yeah.
the same terminology and all those things are not new. So my constraint is like
Mhm.
why I should go for the Ariba. My very first question is that like what are the things which we cannot do in the and what we can do in the Ariba, and whether having the CV of and Ariba will boost my career. That is my question for me.
Okay.
Since you have a
So
very
first
good
and
experience.
first and foremost thing, Chandra, remember, the thing is like, as you know, SAP is moving from on-premise to on-cloud
Yeah.
functionalities over there. So if you want to compare Ariba with any other procurement solution, don't compare it with compare it with SRM over there. So SRM is being made obsolete over there. It has been already made obsolete. I think in 2024, I think the whole support will be turned off. So majority of the client is basically moving from SRM to Ariba over there. That's the first thing. Second thing is, yes, if you basically migrate, let's say you're having basic skills on what are you going to do on Ariba side over there? So in that case, I will say, don't move from to SRM right now. It does not make any sense. Always move to Ariba over there. Why? Because at the end of the day, you have to understand that is what you can say, the SRM part over there is obsolete. You are going to go ahead with Ariba only. So the main question which you should ask me is, Manoj, I am having experience in whether I should move into SRM or Ariba. So definitely the answer would be like Ariba. Why? Because Ariba is a cloud solution and it is going to work with SAP for the next 15 years at least over there. That's the first thing. Second
Okay.
thing, if you want to understand and Ariba, they work complementary. Why? Because is part of your ERP module, and ERP is always integrated with Ariba over there. Okay, so that you need to keep it in your mind.
Okay. So regarding to this study material, so for the 2 months we have the access for all of the things. So whether we can do the
Yeah.
configuration and the other things like because
Ha, ha, ha,
our
ha.
this course is completed. जब ये course खत्म हो जाएगा, तो then like we have to tell yes, boss, we have worked in that, right? So
Exactly correct. Exactly. So yes, you can do this configuration. See, all the catalogs loading, catalogs configurations, approval configuration, template configuration, all those things, you will get access. We will show it in the system over there in our session, and you can also practice the same thing within the system also.
and the same thing I can also tell to the in my interview also, like if they will ask me
Exactly,
something for that.
exactly. See, this is the advantage of our session. This is the advantage. This is our motto that once you complete this session, you can actually show experience. You can actually show real experience. Why? Because whatever we are covering in the session, that is basically coming from our project exposure. So there we will show you, acha, this kind of issue you will face in the project. Okay, this is how you have to design the solution. This is how you're going to configure this system over there. So automatically you're getting the real practical exposure from your project only over here
So,
in this session.
so in short, based upon the business process or the business blueprint, whatever you can say that, you will tell me why I'm going to configure this document type, present procedure, whatever the catalog and all those things are there.
Exactly. So basically, rather than BBP, you can say requirement list. Client will give you the requirement list over there, and they will basically say, this is my requirement. How are you going to proceed ahead? So let's say, for example, I'm going into sourcing project. Okay, I'm implementing that. Your client is coming up and they are saying, I want 4 levels of approval workflow. Okay, what is the solution? You have to design the 4 levels of approval workflow. Now you have to ask the client whether it's a parallel or a serial workflow or it's a custom workflow. Then you have to ask them who are the approvers. Is there any and operator present over there? Is there any or operator present over there for the approval determination? Is there any conditional approval? Is there any non-conditional approval? All those things, once you get, where you're going to do it in the template configuration, right?
That is fine.
So this is how we are going to understand the process as well as the config.
Just one last question. No, see, suppose if I go for the any of the implementation, whether are you going to provide the like the document like pre-configured something is there? Not pre-configured, like some questions are there. Like whenever we are interacting with the client with the very first time, right? So whether we some questions we have to ask them. Based upon that, we will say yes. This is what he is trying to say in their terminology, and what I am going to configure in my SAP Ariba. So this kind of documents are you going to share with me? I mean, with us, not me only. Sorry.
Okay,
Sorry.
yes, this kind of document, see, this kind of document, there is no separate document, but this kind of information you will find in the notepads over there and in our session itself over there. Why? Because those documents can only be provided if you are doing a theoretical session. We are not doing theoretical session, right? We are doing practical session. So in the practical session only, we will basically say you, this kind of issue will come. You have to ask for this kind of data. You have to ask this kind of questions over there. So then only everything will get clarified. So yes, we will be having the notepad document with us, and within the notepad document, all those particular information will find out. Why? Because at the end of the day, we are doing this practical session over here, not theoretical. So every notepad and every document will be containing those information over there, but there is no other separate document for that.
No, means like if you go for like what you have said, sir, like you have done so much implementation, so you might be knowing if you're going to any other client, you must have the you must need some information. Based upon that, you are going to define the or you are going to build the system, right? So those questions actually I just want to understand.
Yeah, those questions only we are going to basically discuss in our session itself.
Okay.
Those questions only we are going to discuss in our session, because I am not going to show a single end user thing in the whole of the session. Why? Because at the end of the day, if you read the standard document, you will get an end user knowledge over there. So we have also uploaded this learning hub videos. Why? Because you can have a knowledge about the end user thing from those video recordings. But what we are going to see in our session is practical things which you will handle in the project. So these things are the basic questions, right? You're asking that, these are the basic questions which will come at your project part over there. So yes, we are going to start our session with those kinds of queries, and what would be the answer over there, that also we will tell.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Chandra. Yeah, Nishant, can you please go ahead with your query?
Hey, hi Manoj. So how many days course it is?
Actually,
40
this is
hours,
basically
40 hours.
yeah, you can say basically 2.5 hour session, because this is like a weekday session from Monday to Thursday over there. So you can say basically every week 4 days. So 2.5 into 4 means like 10 hours. So almost like a month.
Okay, 1 month.
Yeah.
And yeah, one more question is, so I am from SAP technical background, right?
Okay.
So will it be okay to continue?
So let me ask you a question over there. You know what is a PR, what is a PO, what is a contract, what is a RFQ over there? This basic
Yeah.
knowledge you're having?
Yes.
That means basic procurement knowledge.
Yeah. So that will be
Okay.
sufficient.
Along with that, there is another requirement.
Mm.
How much excited you are to learn Ariba over there, to basically transform from a technical side to the functional side. How much excited you are? It depends. Why? Because if you are excited enough over there, so you have to put really some more hard work compared to the other participant. Why? Because
Mhm.
we will be frank in our discussion over there. Yes, you need to put some 30% extra effort compared to the other participant over there. But yes, we have basically previously trained other technical guys, even those guys who are coming from Oracle background or Microsoft background. They have
Mhm.
basically also known, but procurement basic knowledge is required. That's the first thing. They were from the Microsoft Dynamics ERP, somewhere from the Oracle ERP over there, but still they are right now working as a successful Ariba consultant. So how much passion you are having for this thing, because you have to put 30% extra effort compared to other participant. And the second thing is basic procurement knowledge. If both of the answer to these two questions are in positive, then yes, you should proceed ahead with the session, or else I will suggest wait.
Okay. So the 30% additional efforts in the sense during this course, or I need to be
during this
ready
course
for
during this course
this
during this course
during this course. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And that will be also covered in the sessions, or it will be a different topics that I
No,
need
no,
to
no.
take.
That particular thing, I will basically see when I will basically give the task over there. I will basically ask you to carry out some activity over there. There you will face some issues over there. So then you will understand over there that why the things are coming over here and why it is not coming. So there you have to put a little bit of more effort. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay. So all during sessions and workouts, right? Nothing like.
Exactly.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Manoj.
Yeah. Welcome, Nisha. Satish, can you please go ahead with your query?
Yeah, hi Manoj. Very good morning. And what
Yeah.
about the servers? Actually, I'm from MM background. We have a development, quality, and production. There are three different
Uh,
servers. So
uh,
what if case of Ariba? Is it two servers? And how to, if once we done in configuration in development, we move we move to TR from here. How it would be?
Okay,
That's my question.
so two things first. The first and foremost thing is in Ariba, what happens is like majority of the client you will see is using testing system and production system.
Okay,
Okay,
fine.
few of the
Okay,
client who can basically give a little bit more money to Ariba, they will have development, quality, and production. Why? Because for each of this site, the client has to pay an extra. So majority of the customers you will see are having testing site as well as production, no quality in between. But on the other hand, some client who is spending huge money on Ariba, they will have development, quality, and production over there. So this is the
How to
landscape of your
Okay,
project.
how to transfer changes from development to production? Is there any
Okay.
from?
Yeah, there is no concept of TR over here. Certain
Okay,
site-based parameter can only be moved from your testing system to production system with the help of SR. That means parameter changes. Parameter changes is no longer with us. Previously, before 2017, parameter was part of your customization changes, which we could do. But from 2017, Ariba has taken that authorization from us. So site parameter, let's say, for example, you want to set out the logout timeout, 10 minutes. So if nobody basically does any work for 10 minutes in Ariba, the system will lock them out. So this kind of parameters, if you want to set, basically, you have to create a service request, raise the service request with Ariba. Ariba will set that parameter over there. And now let us come to the configuration. Different configuration, template configuration, approval configuration. So these things you will see, you will have different options over there. Action, and there you will have an option which is called as export. So
okay,
from the testing system, you are going to export these changes. It will be a file which will be getting generated within a zip file. It will be getting generated, and in production, you will see the import option. So you click on import, and upload that zip file over there. All the changes what you have done will be moved over there, but there is no concept of transport request in Ariba over there.
Okay, and is this I mean, it is like SF. I mean, success factor also it is in cloud, but Ariba is also in a cloud, right?
Yeah, no. Success factor is a little bit different from Ariba. Why? Because success factor also will give you some more customization over there. Why? Because success factor is made by a separate organization over there. Ariba has
Okay.
been made by Ariba over there.
I want to ask about for example, we need to customize some with ABAPer. So either we should do or only, or we should involve in any other consultant.
No, there is no technical. No. There is no technical consultant in Ariba over there. You have to keep this thing in your mind over there. So
Okay.
if you have anything over here, so you have to raise a request that is called as enhancement request. Only Ariba engineering team will have access to the technical things and they can change the technical things. So you don't have a technical consultant in Ariba, only functional consultant. Any changes in the source code, you have to raise an enhancement request in Ariba.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Welcome, Satish. Yeah. Welcome, Satish. Sandeep, can you go ahead, Sandeep?
Yes, Manoj, thanks for this session and for the basic understanding. I just wanted to know that Ariba access that we will be getting, is it ECC plus Ariba or
No.
S4 plus
It's
Ariba?
only Ariba. It's only Ariba buyer and network. We don't have a access to ECC over here. Why? Because this is not your any project system access which we are giving. This is basically a training system which we have basically loaned from SAP Ariba itself over there. So that is why SAP Ariba has prohibited us to connect this thing with the ECC. So for the training purposes, we have taken this thing. So that is why you can do all this configuration. If we would have taken this thing from some project over there, what would happen is like we can get the ECC, but we cannot do the functional configuration in Ariba. So that is why majority of the participant generally asked us that, Manoj, we need the access to functional configuration within Ariba. Even if it is not included or integrated with the ERP, does not matter. But functional side configuration in Ariba should be a major factor. So that is why we have taken this extra access from Ariba by paying extra. So that is why we cannot connect it with ECC. So no ECC will be shared with all of you guys.
Okay. I mean, there may be some scenarios where no PR.
So in that case, you might ask that, Manoj, from the ERP side, some configuration might be there during integration. So how we will do it? So we have basically taken that screenshot from our project environment over there, and we have prepared a document. Those documents we will use whenever certain very small part in ERP side, what is the configuration to be done. For that, we will be showing that document, and that document will be shared with all of you guys. But apart from that, everything will happen in Ariba side. So it will happen in Ariba.
Okay. And that can we download catalog and like that?
Yes, you can do that. So basically, you're talking about loading catalogs, then configuration of catalogs. Yeah, definitely you can do that.
Okay. And if after 2 months, if we require to extend that access, is there a way to do it?
Yeah. That if you need more than 2 months, remember it will be pay per access over there. So in that case, you have to keep one thing in your mind. That is like you have to ask about BREs over there. You have to pay a little bit extra for that, and yes, you will be provided the access. You just need to get in touch with our business relationship executive like Sana, Nikita, or Dipali, or Krishna. They will help you out.
Yeah. Okay. One last question. So there may be scenario which which are combined, like some transactions running in Ariba, some transaction in S4. Like, so those how we will be doing it. I mean
those basically. So those basically we will understand from the integration scenario purposes, right? So in that case, as a functional consultant, you have to do the configuration, right? So if you say contract, I want to basically move from Ariba to ERP, so you need to do the configuration in Ariba as well as in ERP also over there, right? So we will see that configuration in the ERP with the help of the screenshot over there. That's the first thing.
Yeah. Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay. Yeah, but that would be very less part over there. Why? Because ultimately, when we will go to integration, you will understand that there also consultant is there, right? That guy's help will also come to the part. There is a misconception, huge misconception among all the participants, that Manoj, I am having knowledge, so I will work as a consultant, I will work as a Ariba consultant, I will work as an integration consultant. That means you have to work 24 hours a day. Why? Because I can guarantee you, when you will work as a Ariba consultant, you have to work 11 to 12 hours to get your work completed. Even within that time period, you cannot complete the work. And after that, if you say, I will become an integration consultant, 12, it will basically increase to 15 to 16. And then if you say you are also going to work as a consultant, it is not possible over there. Yes, if you're coming from you can basically graduate to Ariba over there. That's a different thing. But remember, in your project, you cannot work as both Ariba consultant as well as consultant. It can be either one of them. Why? Because the workload will be huge in Ariba.
Appreciate. Thanks.
Yeah. Welcome, Sandeep. Yeah, Mohammad Rafi, can you please go ahead with your query?
Hi, good morning. How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm fine, Mohammed. And what about you?
Yeah, Alhamdulillah, fine. My question to you is, since you have been already involved like 8 to 16 years, you are saying with the SAP Ariba. My question to you is, are you familiar with Saudi Aramco suppliers? Have you been involved with any of the Saudi Aramco suppliers before?
No, I am not involved with the suppliers over there, but yes, I know Saudi Aramco over there. Why? Because few of my colleagues actually worked over there.
Okay. Because we are a startup company. I'm working for a startup company over here, and they are from construction background, you know. So my boss want to implement this SAP Ariba, but we have just done 2 to 3 projects only. My question to you is, how will Ariba support us for a construction company? Because what I am thinking after seeing all this information what you have given today, maybe this is pertaining to the products procurement and all that stuff. So my question to you is, how will Ariba support us in construction company, for a construction company, you know?
See, ultimately over here, Mohammed, you have to remember the construction organization over here means what? Like you will do also the procurement. Now procurement will be a little bit different. Why? Because you will have more line items over there, right?
Okay.
You will have more line items over there. So you have to basically think about it. Similarly, you will also have packages concept over there, right? Multiple packages will be there, which you will basically differentiate, award it to different suppliers, right? So that would be your procurement, a little bit of customized process. So yes, that particular thing can be done in Ariba very simply over there. That's the first thing. Through the standard Ariba, it can be done, and you can also do some configuration. Through that configuration, it can be done over there. But if you say, Manoj, I want to totally change the process, yes, that can also be done by Ariba's help with the help of enhancement request. So anything in Ariba, remember, anything in Ariba can be changed according to the client's request. If it is not done with the help of source code changes, then we can do it. And if it requires source code changes, then we have to create an enhancement request. But yes, it can be done properly over there. So whatever I have basically seen till now is basically Ariba can be used by any sector client without any issue. Some sector client will have a little bit of less customization. Project will get completed jaldi, means quickly it will get completed. In certain case, the project will be a little bit more, like 6 months more time it will take, but all the functionalities will be delivered over there. So it depends on the requirement over there, but yes, everything can be done.
Okay, so have you ever filled this Saudi Aramco supplier questionnaire?
No, actually I have not, but I have heard about it, because yes, few of the suppliers basically said, I think when they implemented supplier onboarding, that means the SLP over there was a huge amount of questions over there. Lot of suppliers were basically making a mistake over there. Actually, The thing is like, I will not blame Saudi Aramco on this part over there, but I will blame the implementation organizations over there. So they should basically say, as a functional consultancy, you have to tell your client over there that don't make your process too much complex. Keep it simple. That's the first thing. Second thing is like, when you are implementing the solution, you're basically designing the solution, always keep multiple things in your mind over there. So once you keep these multiple things in your mind, what will happen is like, you can decide the pros and cons. But what I have seen from their questionnaires is they have taken a very rigid approach. Only one solution they have done, and that is why it has backfired.
Because Saudi Aramco, they have around 4,000 to 5,000 vendors internationally,
Yeah.
And every supplier has to go through that supplier questionnaire, because they are asking for a lot of processes within the organization. But now, since we are a startup, we don't have much processes and all that. So will you be able to help me in this regards? That's my question, if I am going to take this course.
See, first and foremost thing, we do also have the project support part over there. See, the thing is like, we also do the training. Along with that training, we also help in your project over there. Anything on the project side you want to help, you want the solutioning part, you want multiple solutions over there, you want to ratify which one is good, which one is bad over there. So we also do project support. So just get in touch with our BRDs, business relationship executives. They will help you in understanding this thing.
Okay, here you are mentioning like contract, legal agreement between buyer and supplier, contract authoring task completion. So you will also be going in detail regarding the pros and cons of the contract, right? That you will be explaining.
Yeah, definitely. All of those things we are going to go. Exactly, definitely. We are going to go over there. Ariba contracts is very, very different from ERP contracts. So we are going to cover it in details.
So finally, we will be making, in case if I am going to make for my organization, so I have to make the contract in line with the Ariba guidelines.
Yes. Also, you have to map your business process with that of Ariba's product over there, right? So how are you going to do that? All those things we are going to see in details.
Okay, perfect. Okay, great. So I had my questions, Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Mohammed. Just a moment. Ramana, can you please go ahead with your query?
Are you able to hear me, Manoj?
Yeah, Ramana. Yeah, I'm able to hear you.
Yeah, probably my question would be guided buying and central contract procurement downstream will be covered in our course content.
See, there is no thing called as central contract procurement over here. Central procurement concept in Ariba does exist, and we do cover it over there. But central contract, something like that does not exist in Ariba over there. It exists in MM or in SRM over there, but not in Ariba over there. But I do understood basically when you said central contract, basically you're talking about like not only working with the contract, but also its consumption tracking, right?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, so that is basically part of your normal contract in Ariba. So yes, we are going to see that thing. That's the first thing. Second thing is guided buying. Guided buying we don't cover in this particular session. Why? Because this is the normal Ariba session. We do have a advanced procurement session. So there we will basically cover the guided buying, not in this session. Why? Because here you have to understand the basic Ariba. Once you understand the basic Ariba, then what will happen? Guided buying will come into the picture. Guided buying is not alone. Guided buying will come into the picture, then tactical sourcing will come into the picture, then basically apart from that there will be SWOT by catalogs which will come into the picture. So what you are saying over there is basically the Ariba Snap modules over there. So Ariba Snap modules is part of advanced Ariba. This is the normal Ariba over there.
Okay, that would be covered in other particular trainings, but here we'll be covering the basic.
Yeah, basic means like if you go to the Ariba projects right now, out of 100% projects, you will see only 12 to 13% are Ariba Snap. Rest of the 87 to 88% of the projects are running in normal Ariba. So right now we are aligned to the market forces. So some of you guys who are basically interested in learning advanced things. So advanced Ariba means what? You are having almost 3 to 4 years experience in Ariba real time. From there you want to learn advanced Ariba. So then you come to us, we will basically train you about that part. But first and foremost thing, you need to work on normal Ariba project first, because that is 87 to 88% in the market right now. So that is how we are catering to the market.
Okay, got it. Manoj, one more question would be, as you're sharing a few Ariba dumps for us, I do understand cloud-based applications comes up with Delta. That means our certificates get treated after a particular time. So if we wanted to go with our next upgraded certifications or Delta version, so those dumps are also will be provided with us for lifetime, or how
Yeah, it will be provided. So always remember, see, those guys who have taken this training from us in 2017, their G type also is basically getting upgraded when something new is coming in 2020 and 2021. So don't worry, right now also you will get the specific thing. After 1 year also, if something is coming newly over there, we are updating the document. That same thing all of you are going to see in your G drive access over there.
Okay, one specific question. See, I'm an consultant. Probably one of our colleagues also asked this. I'm going to get trained up in Ariba. So having knowledge is blessing or a disguise? Just wanted to know from you.
That's a very good question over there. So it's both a blessing and a curse. Why it's a blessing? Because ultimately at the end of the day, you're having the procurement knowledge. Why it's a curse? The curse over there is basically, I will say, it's more about the attitude. What will happen is, like, with the knowledge what you're having on you will expect the same thing from Ariba. So what will happen at the end of the day, you will try to implement Ariba from the point of view of and this will fail miserably. So that is why in the demo session we always make a generic statement. And what is that generic statement? For you to be a successful Ariba consultant and learn then only you can learn Ariba. Okay, but yes, you can say from a procurement basic part, yes, is a very good thing. But now if you want to have a very good career in Ariba, you have to forget about the approach, learn about the Ariba approach. Why? Because you will see in our sessions only, I will basically show you the fallacy. If we go ahead with point of views while doing the Ariba implementation, where the issues will happen, I will show you that thing. You will understand over there that why I made this statement over there.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, thanks, Manoj. That's all I have.
Yeah, welcome, Ravna. Just a moment. Yeah, Abdul, can you please go ahead with your query? Yeah, Abdul, I think you need to unmute yourself.
Huh?
Yeah, Abdul.
Yeah, has this been covered up in Ariba, like procurement of inventory items, procurement of consumables and external services? Like we have integration like with through ASNs for as sales and distribution for project plant maintenance module. So all this been like whether this is only a platform for external procurement, or will it be having an integration with different ERP modules?
Okay, so first and foremost thing, yes, you can do the procurement over there, and you will do the integration with ERP, not with the different modules, but with ERP. So ultimately, let's say for example, PO.
ERP in the sense only procurement.
Yeah,
module?
majorly procurement. Majorly
And all types of
procurement
like can we handle inventory items also? Like we heard that it is only meant for consumables.
Yeah. Inventory, actually, it cannot be done directly, but in an integrated environment, yes, you can do it. Now, remember, what you are basically asking me is, Manoj, can we do the indirect procurement? And the answer is yes, you can do the indirect procurement. Indirect procurement over here in Ariba. Can we do the direct procurement using the inventory? Yes, you can also do it, but with the help of integration. Both of these two things are possible through Ariba.
Why? Because like request for quotations, right? We heard like external sourcing request, internal sourcing request. Like we have some SPRO nodes in materials management. Okay, so if we activate as external sourcing request, then the platform of the sourcing will be external tools like Ariba. But if the request for quotation process is the internal request, every like all these steps to be done in S/4HANA only. Okay,
No.
so there are two.
Remember,
No, there are two
no. This
document
is
types.
different.
Like we have seen the notes also.
Yeah.
Like we have seen creating the request for quotations, awarding the quotations, publishing the request for quotations from S/4HANA. Okay, once we choose this as the internal request, then all the steps will be in S/4HANA only. But if
No,
we choose as external sourcing request, then the Ariba settings like the number ranges, the document type, and all we have to be we have to enable all those settings. So
no. On
yeah.
this part of the, listen to me first. The thing is like you're talking about setting the integration from S4 HANA side. So when we will basically do the integration between Ariba and ERP, the first thing is like we will be doing the integration from Ariba side first. Then we will go to the S4 side or ERP side over there or ECC side over there. The first and foremost thing is the scenario which you're talking about over there, external processes, you will create a RFQ. From that RFQ, a sourcing project will be created in Ariba over there. Why?
Yeah.
The question is why? Because that is what Ariba suggests over there. Majority of your client will basically say, no, boss, I'm going to create a sourcing project directly into my system over there. Which system? In our Ariba system over there. So I don't want to basically create external sourcing process over there. It's not required. So that is what you have to remember. See, there are different standard process over there, but you look at your client's process, then you can understand everything over there.
Yeah, we'll have to get the clarity, since if, for example, if same customer, like for example Aramco has Ariba, Aramco has ES/4HANA, Aramco has other ERP. So now it is to be decided from where the initiation should be, like whether it is a request or quotation from S4 or from Ariba, right? So all those needs to be document, like all those strategies, right? So from where we have to initiate, other than these processes,
Those are the those are
we
the
have got
strategies.
to know the supplier registration. Yeah, like
No.
creation
This
of the
registration,
supplier.
remember this registration over there or this process you're talking about over there, this will not be determined by the client. Client will basically not determine. Client will ask the functional consultant over there which one is better. You give me the advantages, you tell me the disadvantages over there, then you tell me which solution. There are multiple solutions, then you tell me what is the advantage and disadvantage of multiple solution, then accordingly I will choose. So as a functional consultant, you have to determine, okay, these are the multiple solutions over there. So that is why you have to be careful enough. As a functional consultant, you have to basically say these are the multiple solution present, and for this multiple solution, these are the advantage, these are the disadvantages.
Yeah, because we have the settings, right, to create a contract. Like once if I awarded the RFQ, so in order to convert that RFQ into PO or contract, we have settings in S/4HANA. So we have
Settings is a different thing.
to just to
Settings
see.
is
Yeah,
different thing.
exactly.
Setting is different thing. It's about the process. First, you have to determine the integration scenario. That is what I said, right? In integration, first and foremost thing, what you have to do, you have to build up the integration scenario. Once you build up the integration scenario, then the configuration will come into the picture. So configuration, Ariba and ERP or S4HANA over there will basically give you all these options, whichever you want. But which configuration you will do, it will depend on your integration scenario building. So that is why, as a functional consultant, you must know this integration scenario building. You must know what are the different scenarios present over there. Based upon that, you can provide the solutions and then give the advantage and disadvantages.
We will be getting to know all about this, right, during the course.
Exactly.
Like the
Exactly.
pros and cons.
Exactly. Everything we are going to understand this thing in a detailed fashion over there during our sessions.
Yep. And regarding the output print forms, for example, if you create a PO on Ariba, so for example, like when we design our printout as per, like we have to build the smart forms of Adobe forms, right? Like as per the customer, like logo, company
This is
logo,
different.
and then the design.
That you can do it,
For
but remember at
example,
the
does this type of requirement in Ariba will always be there? Like
no,
we
no,
have
no,
to
no.
approach the engineering change management
It
team, or it
generally,
is. Mhm.
it is not there. It's not there. Why? Because remember, when you say PO output over there in how will you basically send it? Through the email, right? Or through the fax over there, right? But in Ariba, what will happen, this PO will be sent through the Ariba network to the supplier login over there. So that is why this particular thing you don't have to customize over there. So majority of the client will basically say don't change the smart form. Why? Because it is not required. There is no smart form in Ariba actually. The PO print is not required. Why? Because at the end of the day, this transactional document will be available from the supplier login in Ariba network side. So that you have to keep it in your mind.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. So we are going to understand each of these things. So that is why I said that Ariba is very, very different from over there. So if you try to compare from the side this Ariba, what will happen is like you are trying to implement Ariba from the perspective of it will fail gloriously because I have also done the same mistake. In my first two projects, I have also done the same mistake.
Yeah. How do you see the future, like comparing S4 HANA on-premise version, on cloud versions to the Ariba cloud versions?
Yeah, I will always suggest
Because
Ariba cloud
because
version.
you said Ariba is on cloud, so we have on cloud versions also, right? S4 HANA. So what is
No,
the big difference?
S4 HANA on cloud is not used by 95% of the client. So whenever the clients are basically moving from ECC to S4 side, it is always S4 on premise over there. 95% of them will be moved to S4 on premise, not on S4 on cloud over there. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you look at the LOB, line of business over there, procurement is one of the line of business over there. So line of business over there will happen where? Always on the cloud. Just like, for example, success factor, Hybris, Ariba, these are all line of business. So this will always remain in the cloud. So the future of Ariba for the next 15 years, you don't need to take any, what you can say, tension over there. But after 15 years, what will happen? That nobody knows.
Yeah. Because as you see everywhere now S4 HANA cloud, right?
No, not S4 HANA cloud. S4 HANA on-premise with Ariba cloud. This is how the things happens. Previously, it was ECC with SRM. Both of them were on-premise, but right now it is being upgraded to S4 HANA on-premise with Ariba cloud.
But having a S4 HANA cloud so will the possibilities be having for Ariba cloud also? Like S4 HANA cloud and Ariba
That
cloud.
also you can do the integration. Yeah, that also you can do through the help of integration
Okay,
also.
both on cloud and on premise versions of S4 HANA will have the integration to Ariba cloud, right?
Exactly, through the integration suite it can be done.
Okay. Oh yeah. Thanks for the explanation. Let us have learning sessions. Okay, during our classes.
Definitely, Abdul. Yeah, thanks, Abdul.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Abdul. Yeah, so let us conclude our session for today over here, guys. And I think our first session will be on Wednesday. All of you are basically welcome to join in our session. Okay, so if you want to ask me some more queries also in that first session, all of you can join. Without registration also you can join, and you can ask me those queries over there. You can see how our session looks like. But remember, from the second session onwards, what will happen? You have to register, otherwise you cannot join our session. So our first session is on Wednesday. All of you are welcome to join our session, but the second session, most probably it will either happen on Thursday or on next week. That session, we will always ask all of you guys to register yourself first and then come and join. Why? Because second session onwards, only registered candidate will be allowed in the meeting. So I will suggest to all of you guys, please come to our Wednesday session, because that is the first session. All of you can basically come into that session. we will highly urge all of you guys to see how our sessions generally goes over there. Okay, so once again, thanks Sana for conducting this session, and thanks to all of you guys for participating in our session. Let us conclude our session for today over here, and we will once again meet on Monday at the same time. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everybody. Let's conclude. Yeah, thank you guys.